Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting edition of the Thrive Careers podcast. Every week, we bring you real information, actionable tips, and practical strategies to help you conquer today's job market, which you will agree with me is something else. All right. So let me ask you something real quick as we proceed today. Have you ever seen someone, maybe in your network, they got a job and you just started to think to yourself, wait a minute, how did that happen? I know that I have more years of experience than this person does. Yeah, it has happened to me too. I promise you. And I know that feeling. It can feel super frustrating, right? Exactly. Especially when you've spent so much time working so hard, updating your resume, getting degrees or certifications. And you know what it is, especially in this climate, especially for those of us who are immigrants, you would agree with me. We've written certifications upon certifications apart from the years of experience that we bring. And we're carefully following all the rules that people say will lead to success, especially people like me, like career coaches, the way we tell people, do this, do that. And you followed all of those principles, hook, line, and sinker. But I'm here to change the game for you today. This is something probably nobody has called your attention to. This is probably where the rubber meets the road. You need to understand that we are no longer in the old school job market anymore. No, that era is far gone. We're now in what I call the influencer economy. You heard me right. And no, I don't mean you have to start dancing on TikTok or you become a YouTube star. What I simply mean is, in today's world of work, it's not just about what you know anymore or what's written on your resume. It's about who knows you and what you bring to the table. So now let me break it down for you so you can understand this very carefully, because we need to understand what's happening in today's job market. And you would agree with me, 2025 has been wild. It has been. Back in the day, people would say something like, go to school, get a degree, and you get a good job. And for our parents, it worked like that. It was pretty much linear. And for a long time, that really worked. But now, things have changed big time. In fact, a recent research by LinkedIn says that 85% of jobs are now filled through networking, not through online job applications anymore. Let me say that again. 85%, almost 9 of every 10 jobs you see out there goes through connections. That means people are getting hired not because they are qualified, but because someone knew them, trusted them, and recommended them. Did you get that? Now, before you go thinking, that's unfair, I have all the qualifications, I have everything to be able to fit into this job. I know that feeling because I have been there. So this is what I need to tell you. Ask yourself, why do I keep getting ghosted after interviews? Why do they keep picking someone else with less experience than I do? Why is my inbox full of rejections even though I know that I can do the job and deliver excellently on it? Listen, I get it. There was a time I applied for tons of roles. I had the education, the experience, but I wasn't getting the needed response. Especially as an immigrant, that time is ticking. And yes, I really needed that job desperately. But that was when I realized something important. Maybe I wasn't visible enough. The reality of the influencer economy that we now live in had just dawned on me. It means that people do not know what I could do. I was just waiting to be picked and applying just like everyone else when I needed to start showing up and be seen. And that mindset shift, I promise you, changed everything for me. It's what led me to start this podcast in the first place during an uncertain season in my life. And now it's grown into something I could never have imagined, with listeners in over 21 countries. So no, this is not about being famous. It's actually about being intentional. And that's exactly what I'm here to show you today on this episode. So you know what? Sit back and relax and enjoy this conversation. So what is influencer economy, if you would ask? And how exactly do you navigate this economy to ensure that you get the best result out of it? Here's the simplest way that I can explain it so you can understand. In the traditional economy, that kind of economy where our parents lived, people looked at your resume to decide if you were valuable. But in the influencer economy where we live today, people look at your presence and the relationships that you've been able to build over the years to decide if you're valuable. Now, let me take this for an example. Imagine you are hiring a photographer. Would you rather pick someone you found randomly on Google search, or would you go with someone that your friend or your neighbor has used and raved about and whose work you've already seen online and you can attest to? Exactly. People tend to trust people that they know or people who are recommended by trusted people. That's why showing up is non-negotiable in this influencers economy. Building trust is non-negotiable, and creating relationships matters more than ever before in this economy that we live in. Okay, let's even get more practical, because you know what? I want you to get every bit of this conversation today, and I want you to go out there and begin to put it to use almost immediately. So I'll share with you 3 things that you can do now to begin to thrive in this new world that we found ourselves. Even if you're shy, introverted, or you're still trying to figure things out. The first thing is clarity. You need to be super clear about what you do and how exactly you help people. Not just your job title, but the problem that you solve. For example, when you're having interactions, instead of saying or introducing yourself to people like, I'm a project manager, you can try something like, I help teams stay organized and deliver projects on time without stress or confusion. That's more specific, right? Exactly. That's the power of clarity. Now, let me give you a pro tip. If you had to describe what you do to a 10-year-old, how would you rather explain it? That's a good clue and a good place to start. Now, let me move to point number 2, and that is credibility. Yeah, credibility. You need to share your stories and your wins, even the small ones. I agree. A lot of us are guilty about that. We're thinking, oh, I don't want to, blow my own trumpet. But we no longer live in that generation where you should think like that. Don't be shy about talking about your impact. You don't need to brag. You just need to be honest and helpful. Go on LinkedIn, post a quick story about how you solved the problem at work, or talk about what you're currently learning in your field. Let me give you another tip right there. Think of yourself as a guide, not a guru, because you're just sharing the path you've worked on and somebody else can find that useful. So why not share it? Now, to the third one, which is the big one, you need to start cultivating honest relationships. Yeah, you need to start building relationships before you ever need them. Learn to say hello to someone on LinkedIn whose work you admire. Comment on their posts. Send a kind message to a recruiter or even a peer. Join an online community in your field. You will need it, I promise you. Remember, relationship is the currency of this economy that we currently live in. Because when you can connect with people, you make it human and you don't come across as transactional. Now, let me drop another tip right there. Just be a kind person who is genuinely interested in people. That's it. People remember how you make them feel. Remember that popular quote. Okay, I know, I get it. It's been a lot that I've been speaking about today. But let me just close with this final thought to finally bring home the points that I'm getting across today. And I know this might feel like a lot, but I promise you it is something doable. I have done it, and I know a lot of other people that I coach daily who have applied this principle and have seen results. So you don't need to be everywhere. You don't need 10,000 followers. You don't need 2 million followers. And you don't even need to have had it all figured out. You just need to start showing up little by little. Because the truth is, your next opportunity is not just about applying to 100 jobs. And you can agree with me, you've done that already and it's not working. It's actually about being seen by the right people. This is the point where you get a pen and you write that down. This is about being seen by the right people and showing them what value you bring to the table. What problems, what specific challenges do you solve? Let me ask you a question. Why do you think vacancies exist in the first place in organizations? Have you ever thought about it? Vacancies exist because organizations are looking for people who would help them solve problems, not just because they are charity organizations and they just want to bring you on board. They are looking for someone who can help them solve a challenge that they have in their organization. So, this is what you do by showing up, showing what you can do and how you can solve those problems so they can see you in the online space. And thank God we have the online space today to showcase. It's a lot. You can put in a lot out there so that you can be seen. So if you've been feeling invincible, overlooked, or discouraged by the many applications that you've made and you're not seeing traction, let this be your reminder that you're valuable, you have something to offer, and you don't need anyone's permission to thrive. You just need a strategy and the right support. And by support, I mean putting to practical use all that I've shared with you on this episode today. Now, I'm not just going to leave you like that. Here's how I can help you take the next step. You can grab a free copy of my Career Clarity Playbook. It's packed with easy exercises to help you get clear on your strengths, your story, and exactly how you can stand out. And you can download it via the link in my description. It's totally free. And if you want more real talk like this, career tips, behind the scenes, support from me, you can do well to join my newsletter at www.thrivecareersconsulting.ca. It's a weekly pep talk in your inbox. And you don't have to do this alone because we are building careers that feel good and not the type that just looks good on paper. And I'm super proud that I'm in your corner and with you on this journey. Now, if this episode hits home, be sure to share it with a friend who needs encouragement. And also tag me at Thrive Careers Hub on LinkedIn and on Instagram. I would love to hear your thoughts. As always, remember, you don't need to wait for permission to shine. You just need to show up where it matters most. Catch you in the next one. And that's it for today's episode of Thrive Careers Podcast. I am Olajumoke Fatoki, reminding you that no matter where you are in your career, you have the power to rewrite your story. If you've enjoyed today's insights, do not forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who's ready to thrive. If you have questions or topics you'd like for me to cover, let's connect. I would love to hear from you. Remember, clarity creates confidence, and confidence leads to success. And until I come your way again next time, stay inspired and keep thriving.